What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud switchers? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. I expect a light day. A light day. Even like you guys are piling in light today. Well, you guys are maybe just coming in a little slow. But we got Albert. Good morning to you. Good morning to Anna, Georgia, Jay, Joe, Scott, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land, all my lurkers today. That's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe buttons, but there we go. Martin Mars and YouTube land. Good morning to Leonard. Yeah, it's going to be a slow day. But what I did not know, and that might add a little bit of maybe volume today, but we do have PCE coming out, so that's the number that I know a lot of us look at PCI. But it's the inflation number that, or the key metric that the Fed is going to kind of more or less take a look at to influence their rate decisions. I think they said they rely on that one a little bit more. So that's 10 a.m. So 57 minutes from now, we should get that coming out. So we might have a little extra volatility. Usually that's on a Friday, so I'm not sure why they moved it up for today, but that will be coming out at 10. So just be careful if you are in trades. You might see some volatility, which could work in your direction, maybe not. I'm thinking that we still probably in general have some light volatility. So whatever that number is, those moves in both directions probably a little bit wider than we might normally see. So again, if you're in the right direction on it, you'll probably get paid on it. If not, make sure you have your stops out in place, or it's okay to sit on your hands too. It's okay. It's fine. But we said yesterday, great open. We had a really good opening location pre-market. Did come down a little bit right before that bell rang. Still right into that support. Only problem was we were inside day. We kind of hung out for a little bit, and then decent, pretty good close. Not outside of Monday's candle, but was a close above all VPOCs. Today is very similar to it. So right now, SPY, it depends on the minute you look at it, but SPY gapping down slightly. What was that 12 cents down? So pretty much nothing crazy. I still think we look bullish here. If this retest holds, so I mean, being inside day, let's say that we get some kind of a pullback, some chop. I kind of want that chop to stop and hold 599.61. And then we'll see how we end up closing for the day. If we could continue to close, maybe break out of Monday's candle. But for right now, relatively still bullish, I would say. But uh, inside days are a little choppier. Q's struggling still a little bit. Q's still in the little struggle bus. In the terms of we did close the gap, so that was this candle from Monday. We're still sitting inside day, Monday's candle. At the open at least, and I know Nvidia and AMD is down a little bit, so you have a little pain in some of the chip sector. SMCI I think was up though, so watch that one. It's doing a little something different than the rest of the chip sector. Otherwise, Q's decent resistance from yesterday now put in at 508.49. If we could get above it, maybe we see a little extended rally into the closing today, which would be 510.57. Otherwise, you do have support. So if we get some kind of quick flash up into that 508.49, and then maybe Q's just pull back a little bit more to the 506.58, that might be around the time that SPY is also kind of just pulling back to that VPOC. So I'm a little bit more prepared for some kind of selling at the beginning of the day, and then maybe some buying somewhere toward the end of the day. We'll see. TLT, that one is gapping up, so that one's decent. I still have decent sized position on TLT. My 50 EMA, that's going to be sitting somewhere right around 93.03. Technically, this is a retest gap, but I do want to see. I would love to see at least a close. The open's important, but the close is more important to me. So I would love to see a close somewhere above 92.75. I think that gives us some room. Probably the struggle around that 50, but ultimately I think the next stop up would be somewhere around 93.41, and then I'll probably be out of most of my position if we get to like 93.81, somewhere in that zone. Some of the contracts I have are December 20th. I will be out of all of them by the time we hit 93.80. The other contracts I have go all the way out to March, so those mostly I'll probably be selling and maybe just hold a couple going forward. But then you start to approach the 100, the 200, and then if we get a deeper pullback, that's probably where I'll kind of reapply the trade and try to hop back in on TLT. But not a bad open, pretty decent there. And again, you do have technically retests into 92.63. If we get a wilds retest, 92.15. But so far, at least it's still we hung around that 90 zone. We managed to pop out. We're starting to look good, perking up a little bit. And again, that ultimately should help the markets. Dell, I believe they had earnings today. Dell, yep. They beat on earnings per share by 4.4%. Missed on revenue. That's not good after the run we just had. So they missed by 305 million. Looks like we have a little bit more volume ahead of us. Probably let's see what this thing came to pre-market, but I have 120.93, and then the better spot for a buy would be 117.80 if you're gonna buy this dip. Let's see where we actually came into. What was the low? 122.61. It is a little bit of a retest gap. You're breaking through significant pivots. I don't think I'd be buying this one yet. I would think that I would rather wait. The earnings weren't horrible. You don't want to see a company miss by 305 million. But that being said, they still did 24.37 billion for the quarter, so it's not like we're in jeopardy of bankruptcy. I think I'd want to still be a little patient, especially being Q's to a little bit to the weaker side. The Nvidias, the AMDs, they're all struggling. Now, if Dell is kind of selling off a little bit, does anybody really want to buy before a day off and then a half day in the market and then running into a 2-day weekend? I don't know. I don't know how many people are there on this one. Might be a little tough to short, but I honestly think if we get some kind of a bounce at all, we'll see how this one opens. If we do get some kind of a bounce, and maybe that bounce, I kind of want a little extended bounce, maybe, but I'd start looking at like 126.66 for a short. You are at the 100 EMA, so maybe that is a spot you could get that initial bounce. It is down a lot, but I don't know. I think I'd want to see this thing lower if I was to try to go bullish, and still higher if I want to go bearish. So I'd probably watch it out of the gate, and then maybe something not on a 3-minute time frame, but maybe more of a 15-minute time frame could allow you to make a nice little setup on that one. But yeah, getting a little clapped. BAC. BAC, I think most of the financials probably do pretty well today as long as TLT holds up. But good move on this one. Again, it is a retest gap. You had a few days of buying at 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably not buying out of the gate on this one. I think I would be looking for more of a pullback into like 47.81 zone and then see if we can kind of rally it through on that. So, but I do expect most financials to do good. Let's just check out JPM. And that might bleed into fintech is going to be a little wild, a little bit different just because you got tech also involved and tech is down, but at the same time you got TLT rallying. I almost want to focus more on JP Morgan today than I do BAC. At least you had a red candle, you had some selling come in, you're still opening at a great location. Maybe we could break out of the top of this wick. Even if we don't, you still get about just under $4, move higher. I'd still want to see maybe a high wave candle, something like that, but I probably want to stick JP Morgan a little bit higher than Bank of America today. Schwab SCHW, that's probably another one that is moving. Yeah, I would put this one pretty high on the list too. Maybe more so than JP Morgan. Yeah, I think I would rate Schwab first, JP Morgan 2, and then BAC 3. If I had to create a little list. JP Morgan could definitely move. It's close between JP Morgan and SCHW Schwab. The only reason I probably squeeze Schwab up higher than JP Morgan is we're not at all-time highs where JP Morgan is. So I think we might have a little bit more room probably to run on Schwab. So yeah. But that looks like a good gap. And you did have a little we're breaking this candle here with some volume on it, breaking that high wave if we could open up here with some volume on it. And 52-week highs, I believe. Yep. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, Schwab looks actually really good. Let's see. We got Teladoc, TDOC. I think that one pulled back a little yesterday. We got a little resting candle. We got right down to that 200. So if you bought it off that line, fantastic. The one difference between just buying off the line here is you have all your shorter time frames, moving averages, EMAs still below it. So these things kind of have to catch up. I would almost want to see Teladoc do nothing for a little bit. Like another week of just sideways chop, try to hold this line, allow these moving averages to start pushing up higher, and then kind of get that breakout. I think that would give us more room on Teladoc for a quicker break or a more extended break. Trap some more of those shorts. Tessie. Yeah, we'll take a look at Tessie. Otherwise, Teladoc still inside. They here, you're still above that. Well, you close below that 200. I guess if you have range on Teladoc today, the high side I'd be looking for, and of course, resistance can break, support can break, but I don't have any suspicion as to why they should today. But you have $12.13 to the higher side. You have, I would like to see probably somewhere around $11.45. So I think you have a little bit more risk to reward, at least to the bullish direction on that one. And opening above the 200 is a good sign for Teladoc. And you're still kind of playing off that longer term momentum with one rest day. So Teladoc, probably not bad to a bullish direction. All right, Tessie's right here on the list. I just had to click one down. So yeah, Georgia. What I would do is I would probably cancel that order that you put in yesterday for a covered call at 365, I think it was. And I would, because you do have a little gap. Again, it is fairly bullish long term. But you do have this bearish engulfing candle, potential double top on it. So I think we're kind of in an iffy spot. Tech is maybe a little bit to the weaker side. But I would either, and if you still don't mind getting called away at 365, what I would do is cancel that order just so it doesn't get executed at the price you put in and try to get a little bit more. I think you put in 950. Maybe you go for like 1150 out of 365. So just kind of edit it. Just try to make just this way you make a little bit more if you get filled a little higher. Otherwise, resistance on this one is 342.64. Next spot up 343.92. If you start breaking that, next resistance probably takes you to like 349.80. Not sure if we get there today. Again, we're gonna need some momentum. We're still kind of dealing now with this bearish engulfing candle and a double top. But again, even with that gap up, we had some kind of retest. We're still far away from some of these moving averages. So all of this kind of chop lane, I think eventually we do break in the bullish direction. That's kind of how I'm setting up, buying some calls just to see, not heavy, because just as much as I'd like to see this thing go up higher, we could get that pullback, close that gap down to like 319.57. So we'll see. MSTR. And then we got NVX and Kodak. Yeah, Kodak. Brian Davis. My boy is looking at Kodak. He's got some. He's a big Kodak guy. And I'm like, why? Like, we literally had this talk 2 days ago. He's like, man, you got to get in Kodak. I was like, why? I don't get it. But I do understand his little concept. Uh, he did call the GameStop run in, what was it, 2020 or 2021? That first one. He was heavily sitting in some really far out of the money calls right before it started. I think he made like $1 million in January, and I told him he was an idiot for GameStop. It doesn't make any sense. But then he made $1 million in January. I'm like, what do you got next? What's on your list? And Kodak is there, so I don't know. MSTR Micro Strategies. Not bad. At least you held that 20 EMA. The spot you called, who's that said that? Wendy? Yeah, the spot you called yesterday was phenomenal. We were looking at a perfect wave count and then kind of took off and then did come all the way back down. Nice little gap up here. I don't know. I think crypto, you got a weak day in the market today, I think. You have the market closed tomorrow, half day on Friday, and then you got Saturday, Sunday. I think people are going to be feeding for some trades, and crypto's open the whole time. I think they might win on default. You still have that $100, 100K on Bitcoin you're trying to hit, but this is a pretty bearish candle. This is a tough one to break out of. That's gonna be a rough one to break out of. But you are sitting decent on this one. I think your target's to the higher side for today. Look for like 401.54, your support, all the way down to 357.50, and you probably got a little consolidation somewhere around 372.18. W day. Was that work day? Work day with some earnings. So we don't need this. Yeah, I almost kind of rather buy this one than mm, 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 mm. I would give it a few minutes at open, I think. I wouldn't mind the fade on this one. I think Dell I'd want to be a little more patient with. This one we are starting to get into the heavier volume zone. I think anything past probably 237.01 gives us an opportunity. What's not the easiest route, but gives us some opportunity back to like 248.33. What I don't like on it, well, I probably won't want to jump in bullish right out of the gate. Well, we do have one more support. We have 235.20, so that's what I want to see hold. We could probably set up a decent trade on this one. Yeah, I think I would actually consider the fade on this. I think we have better risk reward on the bullish side of things. Let's get this one higher on the list. Still goes. Yep. I'd probably give it I would probably give this a couple minutes, but maybe some kind of high wave candle. And also just double check it's not spready. But yeah, good beat. They as opposed to Dell, who missed by some revenue, they did beat by 24 million, essentially just taking the money from Dell. And then they also beat by 6% earnings per share. So not bad earnings. You are at a longer term support. Let's see how this one opens. But I'd probably rather play the fade on this one than Dell today. 65-minute chart played that with puts. It paid off on W day or on MSTR. All right, we got CRM. Again, another tech stock down a little bit, probably on the basis of Dell and also probably Workday in some weird way. Actually, honestly, it's probably down on Workday more than it is Dell. But lots of room on this one to the bear side. That's I guess. I would think probably somewhere around 334.05 is going to be a resistance. If that is not a resistance, if we can break through it, probably room down to like 325.79. Since I don't know if we could break through this 333.80 zone, I think I'd want to see some kind of fade higher and try to short as high as possible. If you could get some kind of a bullish pop on this one, any kind of a retest, which might happen, even though this last candle's a gap and go, it's just inside of here, which was a bearish engulfing candle. So you might have some shorts trying to exit just for a quick profit. So let's see if this one wants to come up a little bit. 339.91 would give you a much better spot to enter into that short. This way, even if you get down to that 333.80 zone, you're already kind of profitable. You could either work stops down a little bit to get to break even, or see if it wants to break through to a much bigger kind of drop off sell off. But CRM, nice double top. Looks like it's breaking down a little bit. You do have earnings coming out on this one soon, so maybe you have some people a little scared from the earnings that came in today, but December 3rd, so not too far away on that one. Palantir, I believe, was gapping up. Yeah, they still have their $75 price target on the table from I forget who it was. Was it Webbush? But Palantir gapping up, retest gap. You're still in this candle, which yesterday was too. We're still just hanging out in that Monday candle. See if we get this pullback a little bit. I think we got this one pre-market too. This pullback already. Maybe. Ooh, that was 66.26. That's where we're at now. No, we didn't really get down there. See if we can get a retest on this. I do like this open though. You're above every single VPOC. Even yesterday's came in slightly higher, so we're still just in a little consolidation period, waiting for some of those moving averages to catch up. Right now, it still looks relatively bullish, but retest into yesterday's high, or if you catch the VPOC retest, that's going to take you to 65.22. Would be a much better spot, but I do like this open. I'd probably only want to play this one bullish today, and then just kind of figuring out how. What do I think about the Zoom dueling hammers? I do like a good battle. Um, I think the one that holds more weight is this one. Right now, that's an abandoned baby, which is a pretty strong reversal signal. I'd also give this one some more weight because you have much higher volume. But you do have a little hammer. We got very close. We did hit some good support almost perfectly on this one. And we're just kind of chopping in here. Um, this one would give this if I let's put it this way. This one is not bad. We got a lot of support down here. Great spot to bounce. You are getting a decent open, pretty much right out of the at the open from yesterday. This one could go up a little bit, but then you're also going to be faced with the resistance here, resistance here. Yeah, we could get this gap fill. We could get a push up to this VWAP potentially, but that's where I think my overall target would be. If we end up getting up into this zone, even if we get into this zone down here, I have a pretty solid stop. I if I'm just going off of where I'm just dead wrong on this trade to the short side, that means we're taking out the abandoned baby. We're closing that gap up. We're also getting above that wick, this candle, which was a breakout, failed breakout, and we're taking out all of that volume as well. That means the bulls are still hanging in there to a strong direction. So I think the risk to reward at least would be a little bit better to the short side. I think I do have to give this a little bit more weight. I would assume we could probably get some kind of a chop for a little bit, and then either we take that break bullish and we end up breaking that hammer, or we actually do break down on Zoom. So the green inverted hammer I'm going to look at as more important. Pretty fantastic trend. This one almost looks like it might be setting up for head and shoulders. I wouldn't be shocked on that. So let's say we do chop for a little bit, we do make some kind of a push, see if that resistance holds there, and then if this starts to come down a little bit, that would form that next shoulder. And you got that head and shoulder on the table. So obviously this didn't happen yet, but that's what I would be looking for just in case. But the higher you can short, the better. I think your stop is absolutely solid. You start breaking that, just be out, just take the loss, reverse the position. All right, let's see what else we got. It's PGHL. Well, there's a candle. Uh-huh. Is that real? You said what happened? Is that money laundering? Uh if here's what if this is money laundering, I need to find that person because they did one heck of a job money laundering on this one. I mean, I will hire this guy for my next money laundering, my next Ponzi scheme that I'm gonna try to put together. Yeah, what a close, what a candle, and that looks like somebody just played everybody. Yeah, I have no idea. I wouldn't touch this one. Lehman, I wouldn't touch this with your account. No way. But that's crazy. Imagine buying the top of that one yesterday. Like, oh, it's just can't. We're gonna continuation. I don't even know how to get out of that position. I just lose your all of it, I guess. SOXL. That one is semiconductors. Yeah, gapping down a little bit. You got a little support. You're opening. This is a retest gap. I think initially this one probably fades higher. I don't think very far. But you got 27.88, and then you probably got 28.22 to the downside. You still have a lingering VPOC all the way down to 26.25. So at the moment, probably bullish out of the gate. I think there's a rollover opportunity. But we might not even hit that target today. We're kind of in a little bit of chop zone. I'd probably expect a little bit more quiet day, lean a little bit more bearish on SOXL. For now, you got RKLB. You guys are coming up with some fun ones today. Rocket Labs. Yeah, they have actually they beat on revenue, they missed on earnings per share. I thought they had a strong was their guidance? Maybe it was their guidance was up. But yeah, from earnings, they just got absolutely jacked up. I wouldn't be buying this one for the long term here. And it could make total sense to do so, and this thing just keeps going. It's just a hard position after essentially this is up like 300%, maybe more, 500%. This is a wild for the year. So really good move on this one. Maybe high short float. We're squeezing some shorts out of this one. I'm not going to enter here, but if you're in it, pretty actually good location. If we could open where we're at now, 25.87, that puts us slightly above that last VPOC, and maybe we could get some continuation out of this one. But it is up a lot, strong gap, and just continues up. I think you're getting a little far extended from the valuation on that one, but I've seen crazier. I've seen GameStop. Oh, let's talk Kodak real quick. KODK. This one is starting to break out. He's in it. He had a bunch of contracts on this one too, but then he's also holding some for the long term. So I don't know if he still has the contracts on Kodak. He might. I think literally last night he goes, "You Kodak." I'm like, stop it. But yeah, no, it's looking good. He's looking good. Maybe continuation, but again, yeah, I think we missed a breakout. If this one comes back for a retest down to 675, and you do want to take a stab at it, I think that would be a fantastic location to do so. Otherwise, everybody on YouTube land, that was the morning bell. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And we're not around tomorrow. So everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have a good one. And we'll catch you guys on Friday. Friday, we're also closed. Yep. We'll catch you guys on Monday.